All right, we're live apparently. Okay. Yeah, it looks like my microphone working. Yes. Okay, it's giving me a thing. Little green bar. All right. So I'm going to be reviewing something I've never tried before in the world of spirits. I've tried similar things, but never quite this. This is a special thing I got from a friend of mine named Nick, who is recently in Japan, and he wanted to get me. Whenever he goes out as a result of his occupation, he's often called away to different places in the world. So when he does, he's like, I'll try to get you something local, beer-wise or liquor-wise. In this case, he got me something liquor-wise. As I said, he was at Japan, and he came back with this. And this is Zanpa. And I need to look at the word here so I can pronounce it correctly. Awamori. I have my cheat notes here, so. But Zanpa Awamori, and there's basically no English on this. It's basically just where it says Zanpa. Where does it even say that? Doesn't it? Oh yeah, right up here. Basically, that's about it. Alcohol, 30%. 30% alcohol by volume. So this is a spirit. I see Craig is in the chat. How's it going, sir? From Kent Beer Reviews. Again, congratulations on your 1,000th review and 500 subs there, dude. Well deserved. So yeah, this is an alcoholic beverage that is close to sake, but it's indigenous to Okinawa exclusively. And it's basically distilled from long grain indica rice, Thai indica rice, and is not a direct product of brewing like sake is. It's instead distilled like sochu, which is sort of just like a neutral spirit that is made, and it's usually very under strength. And this is also very under strength. Sochu is generally like 20 to 30%, something like that. It's kind of like, I've never had it, but from what I understand, it's kind of basically like weak spirit, weak vodka almost kind of thing. This stuff is typically ranges from 60 to 86 proof, so 30 to 40%, 43% alcohol by volume. Must be aged at least 6 months. And if you age it for 3 years or more, it gets known as kusu, which means old liquor. And apparently, up until World War II, there were examples of this stuff that was 300 years old. If you can believe that. I don't know if I do or not, but that's what they say in the spiel here on Wikipedia. It's aged in traditional clay pots to improve its flavor and mellowness, apparently. Apparently, this brand especially is a bit more mellow than most out there. I guess it's the one the women prefer, it said, I think, somewhere. A little sexist, but what are you going to do? This is usually served in a kara, which is a small earthen vessel with a clay marble inside, apparently. And the marble would make a distinctive kara sound to let people know the vessel was empty. Apparently, you can still find these vessels in Okinawa, but the clay marbles are often absent. Well, whatever. I don't know. I'm not drinking this out of a fucking bowl or a clay vessel, you know. I know it's a Japanese traditional thing to drink sake from things like that, but this is not sake, and I'm not going to do that. This stuff is apparently drank chilled as well, unlike sake, which can be drank warm and often is preferred warm by some people, apparently. Okay. So get rid of the notes. I don't need any of this shit anymore. And so, yeah. Ooh, getting very fruity white wine notes off of this right away. Now, apparently, I was reading this is supposed to have some sort of tinge to it, color-wise. Apparently, this is not only just served chilled, but traditionally on the rocks and with water. And I don't know if I need to do that. I mean, it's only 30%. Very thick legs on it, though. You know, it's pretty clear. If anything, it looks like Very, very, very pale white wine, but more like vodka or just any sort of clear, neutral grain spirit of any sort, But very thick legs. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. So we're up to aroma here. That's interesting. You're definitely getting some sort of white wine, kind of grape-ish sort of smell here, a little bit like pear or something along those lines. See Paul's in the chat. How's it going, sir? You're also getting kind of slightly like just a straight up like kind of like ethyl alcohol kind of thing going on, or something along those, like some sort of like alcohol-based cleaner of some sort. There's a little hint of that. It's much more the sort of fruitiness than anything else that's dominating this stuff, though. I'm a little skeptical to try this, but we're going to give it a shot. Because it's not smelling like something I would enjoy. I'll say that. It doesn't smell bad. It's just doesn't seem to be on the scale of, on the side of the scale that I tend to lean towards. But cheers. Oh, yeah, no water at all. You don't need water for this. That's craziness. I suppose this is the mellow version. So you wouldn't need to add water anyway. I can imagine like something that's like sitting at 40%, maybe you might want to use water. There's very little flavor to this. It's very, very mellow. There's some like a ghost of kind of a white wine character to it. Maybe like a pear kind of character. I'm like keeping it in my mouth and trying to swish it around my tongue just to try to pull something from it. You can certainly notice the alcohol. I had something similar to this. If you go way back in my booze review archives, my friend Ewart gave me a bunch of sample bottles of various whiskeys and spirits in little sample bottles. And if you go and you look through those, there was, I think I did a review of it. There was one that, it was some weird European fucking spirit that's kind of similar to this, but it was like super strong. This tastes like a very, very watered down version of that. Mustang 774 in the chat. Cheers. How's it going, sir? And Paul says this sounds alcoholic and boring. That's indeed what it is. Yeah, you can drink this straight perfectly fine. But why would you? You know what? This is perfect for being the background alcohol in a juice or something like that you're going to mix, because this is only slightly more intrusive than like your really sort of base vodkas that have like no taste at all, like your very really clean vodkas. This just has that slight fruitiness, and if you Paul says sounds like triple sec. I've never had triple sec, so I'll have to take your word for it. But this is something you mix with other drinks. Like this is honestly, you could probably make a hell of a screwdriver with this stuff. Good casual day drinking. That's what this is for, because you're not getting your usual vodka alcohol here. Like you're not getting your 40% or more, so you're not going to get slammed right off the bat. If you were planning on an entire day drinking session where you're drinking for breakfast, you're drinking for lunch, you're drinking for brunch, you're drinking for supper, you're drinking for second supper, and you're drinking for a midnight snack, you might want to start with the stuff mixed in like maybe a mimosa or a screwdriver or something along those lines. Put this in your mimosa to kick up the alcohol. You could do that too. Or if you just want to go on the cheap, like Paul just said, buy a bottle of this and a bottle of juice and start mixing any old juice. Grape drink, purple drink, whatever you want to do. Mustang 774 says, not a lot of flavor in this, I guess. Yeah, not a lot of flavor at all, Mustang. Again, this is Zanpa. It is sort of, it's basically the distilled version of sake, essentially is what it is. It's not brewed, it's distilled. And yeah, it's very neutral. So apparently, again, this is probably the weak, mellow version of this. So, the stronger stuff probably has much more of a kick, probably much more impressive. That being said, as a mixer, big thumbs up. I can see this working, and in fact, I'm probably just going to use this to mix with in some sort of drink, because drinking it straight just seems really boring. As a straight drink, it's a thumbs down, because you can't. There's no point. Like, there's really no point. The idea that you could mix this with water, that's something people do, or they put ice in this. I don't know, sir. But yeah, as it stands, thank you very much to Nick for sending this to me. Very much appreciated to get to try this. And yeah, I'm gonna mix it with some shit. So I'm still gonna get a good night out of this sometime in the next week and a half or so. So I ain't complaining. Free booze is free booze. And yeah, cheers. And thanks to everyone who was watching. And we'll see you all again later on. Goodbye.